Trinity, let me know whenever we can start.
All right, we'll start in 2 minutes. I think our 5 minutes is almost up.
Okay. There are a few more people who are joining. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Bongo Hive workshop, dubbed Introduction to Best Tools for SEOs. Your facilitator, my name is Anna Trinity Chiranje, representing Bongo Hive, and our guest for this afternoon's Hive webinar is Imanga Kayama. Imanga Kayama is the founder and managing director at Manic Creatives. She is responsible for the monetization and sustainability of the company by developing a viable business model that aims at helping other companies become portable. Imanga is passionate about the digital skills and spearheaded the first ever Hubspot solutions at partner certification in Zambia. Imanga, welcome to our Hive workshop.
Thank you, Trinity.
And to the rest of our participants, welcome to our Hive workshop. We just hope that you enjoy the show and be able to ask where you are not clear. And I would like to also mention that we are also live on Facebook. So for our participants that are on Facebook, we urge you to post your comments and your questions, and the host will be able to direct them to Imanga. Then for those that are joining us on Zoom, you can share your comments as well as your questions in the chat below, and we'll be able to read them out to Imanga. So may I take this opportunity and invite Imanga over to carry on with the workshop. Please do enjoy the show.
Thank you very much, Trinity, for that introduction. And welcome to everybody who's taken the time off to join us this afternoon. I know some of you are at work, some of you are running your businesses, some of you are freelancers, busy hustling. So I don't take this lightly, and I appreciate your sacrifice to join us. And I hope that this session will be valuable. I would just like to remind people who haven't muted their mics to just go ahead and mute them for the sake of other participants to avoid hearing background noise from your environment. So like Trinity said, my name is Imanga Kayama, and I'm the founder and CEO of Manic Creatives. Manic Creatives was founded in 2015. We started off as a digital media agency. For those who know us from back in the day, we were producing and publishing technology and business news primarily. And that's how we found ourselves pivoting into the world of consultancy and digital marketing, because people took notice of the type of online presence we had set up for Manic, and we were everywhere. We were on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus at the time. We were on YouTube. We had a website. And so the type of presence that we had developed for ourselves in order for people to find us gained attention from other business owners and other companies, and they started asking us to do it for them. And that's how we ended up pivoting to digital marketing, because I mean that's what was taking up a lot of our times and energy. So personally, I am a tech enthusiast. By no means am I an IT specialist. I just love tech. I live on the internet. I'm always Googling stuff and learning stuff. And I'm passionate about digital skills because I have seen the vast potential that it can provide, particularly on the internet. I mean, Manic Creatives itself is testament of such opportunities. My academic background is it's in arts, Bachelor of Arts. I majored in political science. So this has helped me a lot because there's a lot of writing involved, a lot of analytical skills, critical thinking. So I've been able to bring that experience into my business. I have worked a lot in sales and customer service positions, as well as fundraising and marketing. And all of this experience was gained before I started Manic. And one of the core drivers of Manic was that we're looking to make a positive impact. My team members and myself were so frustrated at the fact that we cannot find good quality content about Zambia on the internet. And I'm sure most of you will agree with me that whenever we want to search good things about Zambia, we want to find out what's trending, it's typically scandals or political news. And so Manic started out, as wanting to make a difference by producing good quality content. And even though we're now a digital marketing agency, our goal is still to help our clients produce good quality content for the internet, for their own businesses and their own companies. Just a disclaimer, this call is being recorded for the purposes of those that are not able to join us today, or those who would like to refer to this webinar later on. So let's dive right into it. What is SEO? I'm sure you've heard this floating about, especially now that digital marketing is the buzzword. SEO is synonymous with digital marketing because all the efforts have to produce results. And when we talk about results, it's how much you are able to be discovered on the internet. Now, most people think that SEO is a one-time thing. But when we even look at its definition, it refers to the techniques that help you achieve better rankings for your websites in organic results. So it's a continuous process, and it's how can you appear top of search engine results. Now, obviously, at the back of all of this, the search engines use algorithms, and at the moment, Google, which is the most popular and has 90% market share of search engines, uses something called RankBrain. And this is the most recent algorithm that they have developed, and they're always changing things to keep people guessing, and they don't want things to be predictable. So out of all the search engine examples that I've put here, there's Bing by Microsoft, there's Yahoo, obviously, there's DuckDuckGo, Yippee, there's even Dogpile. Google is the most popular. It's the one we know. It's the one on our phones. We use it literally everywhere. So now when it comes to SEO, you might be asking yourself, why should I care? And why am I even here? Well, the short answer to that is that every second that your website is not indexed by Google, you miss out on hundreds and even thousands of opportunities in which someone might have accessed your website, viewed your content, or bought your products or subscribed to your service. And the question is, why not? Why shouldn't you care about SEO? Are you comfortable with the results that you're getting right now? In the company at Manic, we always have this inside joke that whenever people say, no, digital marketing is not the right solution for me right now, I can't hire an agency, or I don't want to work with a professional, we always say, when you open your business and you don't have a website, it's like opening a shop and not telling anybody about it. You just rely on whoever stumbles across it, and then you leave the rest up to fate. But when you're in business, you know that you have to meet the bottom line. You need to make that money. You need to grow your revenue. You need to get your customers, and then you need to work on them to keep coming back. So when we talk about search engines, this is what I mean. The ultimate goal is to be number one. And it's not easy because there are billions of websites. And when I said this is not a one-time thing, it's a process, and it takes time and it takes effort. Other people that you've seen ranking number one or even on the first page of Google search results, or any search engine for that matter, have spent years trying to get there, and they've spent money in advertising, and they've spent expertise in crafting their content so that it's relevant and it appears number one. Maybe I can quickly ask, and you can just put your answers in the comments, use the chat section. How many of us, when we're Googling for something or searching for something on the internet, how many of us visit page 2? And this is when you're in a hurry, you want something now. You want to find out something now. How many visit page 2? And then how many of you visit page 10 or page 20? Because it goes as far as that. That's how many websites are there. So this provides us the context of when you have a business, when you have a website, when you have a blog, when you're selling something, do you want to be on page 20 that nobody ever visits, or do you want to be on page number 1? So like I said in the beginning, we're going to keep this very layman, and I know we have developers on the webinar, and they're more the back end people. They deal with crawlers, and they deal with the bots that are behind the scenes and how they interact with the algorithm. But for the purposes of this webinar, which is an introduction to the easy tools that help you, and for those that are not IT specialists, we're going to talk about easy ways that you can do SEO. It starts with content. I'm sure we have all heard how content is king, and it's very true. Imagine, I'm going to use this example. I mean, I don't even want to use it, but I'll use it both ways because I don't want to discriminate against genders, right? So Imagine, I'll even start with guys, the male gender. So imagine women, the women on this call, coming across this really handsome guy, right? And he comes up to you and he's talking to you, but then the things that are coming out of his mouth are just like trash, right? Um, are you going to continue listening to him just because he looks good and he's handsome? Or are you going to walk away and want to actually talk to someone who's saying something relevant to you and is paying attention to you? Same applies to the guys. You meet this really, really beautiful woman. You saw her from across the room. You couldn't help yourself but walk over there. And then when you do, the minute she opens her mouth, your jaw drops to the floor because you can't believe the things that are coming out there. It's the same thing with websites. No matter how beautiful your website is, no matter how sleek the functionality, if the content on your website is not useful to the person that it's intended to reach, then it will be useless. And I mean this in even saying this from experience, because you visited the website before, you've admired it, but you've left. You're like, okay, so what next? This is why content is king, and also the context which surrounds that content. Now, when we talk about content, what is it, right? It's a very loose term. We keep referring to, yes, creatives love throwing it about, especially the copywriters, because, you know, we want your business. But when it comes to SEO, content actually refers to the key search words in your title and in your article, on your homepage, your product page, your services page. These search words, the key search words, are what your target audience or your target market could be looking for. So if we take a few steps back, when you visit google.com on your phone or on your desktop, and you see that search bar, the words that you enter there to find what you're looking for is what the key search words are, the terms that will lead the traffic to your website. This is what tells the algorithm, I'm looking for this type of content. Can you take me to the best place? Now, when we talk about writing interesting articles or putting the right keywords, is you have to make sure that it is relevant. Are you really providing that service? And is your end user going to find it useful when they land on your page? Ideally, the advice is to insert those type of terms in the first sentence under the title. Something that I've noticed that bloggers neglect, or even developers, web developers, is that when it comes to the web title, the site title, and the meta description, these are neglected because, oh, the client didn't provide them. But as a client and as a web developer or a blogger, you need to ensure that the title and meta description are without fail always populated with the type of search keywords that you want your target audience to find. Remember, there are billions of other websites that you're competing against, and you don't want to miss out on hundreds and thousands of opportunities of someone who could find your website. So taking some time to think about what kind of search term could my end user or my customer be looking for in order to arrive at my website is very, very critical. Trinity, at this stage, I'm going to pause just in case anybody has questions before I move on. And if there's been anything in the chat I haven't seen.
All right, Semanga. So I haven't seen anything in the chat. There's only a comment from David who answered your question to say if it's not on page 1, I do not bother. So unless there are any other questions or any comments.
Anybody so far? Because honestly, the way that I feel this would be a valuable session is if people just, if you have questions about what I've discussed so far in terms of the content, maybe some challenges that you faced with SEO yourself, or maybe communicating with a content creator or a writer, a blogger, please feel free to ask. If you're a developer or anybody who's thinking of going into this line of business, please feel free to definitely shoot me a question and I'll pause and answer it. Okay, so since there's no there's nothing, and David, yes, 100% right. The only time I have visited page 2, page 3, page 4, and I've gone as far as page 5 is when I was looking for, you know, like photos, African photos, because they're rarely found on stock images. And so you want to dig deep to find them, and you keep going further and further down the rabbit hole, but there's nothing. So that's the time that I've personally found myself going into like page 5, page 10. Mukopaja is asking, is it any kind of website that should have a blog? Well, typically, yes, because there is useful information that your customers do not necessarily understand by just looking at your website. So having a blog on your website is a good way to establish your credibility in the industry, because you are able to tie your service or your product to real life examples. And one of the most interesting places that I found a blog was on WhatsApp. And you know, I still remember when they announced that they were bought by Facebook. That's news that they chose to release themselves, and it was coming from the horse's mouth. And usually company updates are a good place to put in your blog. So yeah, to answer your question, Mukopaje, it can be any website, but at the same time, just be very careful to make sure that whatever you're blogging about is relevant to your audience. Otherwise, your blog becomes redundant. Moving on. So this is what I meant by content. It can be anything from copywriting, blogging, guest blogging, newsletters, sharing press releases, content for your social media sites, and content marketing. Now, the website, the beauty about the website is that it's like an engine for all your online efforts. All the online efforts that you're making are powered by your website. So even when you have a Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, you need to think about where are you keeping your repository of all the information that you're creating on these platforms. Bear in mind that all of these platforms have something called a timeline, or TL, as we kids call it these days. So the TL, what it does is as time goes by, it swallows up the old content. Now imagine you're a customer and you had seen a post from Manic in January that you really, really liked, and you want to go back to it. You have to scroll and scroll and scroll, because social media sites, the search engine is not yet perfected. But when that content is also shared on the website, the algorithm there is pretty accurate, and all you need to do is just go on the website and search for it, and it will pop up. So it's very, very user friendly. And that means that my target audience can easily find information about Manic Creatives versus going to our competitor, because that information is tied together seamlessly and can be found on the website as a repository. So that's why content is super, super important. I have to emphasize this. All right. Now, when we deep dive into, writing the type of content for your website or for a blog, for bloggers. If you're new to this, something called metadata. This, you can even just, a quick Google will explain what it is and what you're supposed to do. So this is the other content that you need to pay attention to, other than the body, like the meat of your blog or the meat of your content. You have to make sure that you always have a descriptive title. This descriptive title is what explains to the crawlers and the bots that, hey, look at me, here's my website, and I'm providing this information to users, and please bring them to my site. Embedded explanations are also very key, and this strengthens your credibility and authority on the internet. Now, why embedded? Well, you want to save space on your website. You don't want to eat up all the bandwidth. Why this is important is because when you embed things in your website versus directly uploading, it keeps your website light to load. When your website is heavy and it's taking 5 seconds to load, in this day and age of instant gratification and notifications, it's very easy to lose a user. So while your website is loading, someone can easily get frustrated and decide to close the page and move on. Short URLs. So always include short URLs of your website to your social media pages and any other online platforms where you are found. Backlinks. Backlinks are merely other websites that will link to your website. Now, it depends the quality of the third-party website linking to yours, which would determine the relevance as well to the search engine. If it's coming from like a mail order bride website because you were hacked, and then all of a sudden it's linking to your website. And by the way, we had this experience before, so I'm not talking from without. Manic was hacked in 2016. Worst experience of my life. It was a nightmare. Up to 2017, we were still trying to clean up our website, and it taught us a lot of lessons. And now we take security very, very seriously. We do not compromise. So if your website doesn't have an SSL certificate, guys, please, after this webinar, go and get one. This SSL certificate, make sure you have HTTPS so that it tells your users that it's a secure website. So yeah, make sure that the people linking to your website are credible and they're also in a similar service or industry. Meta tags for our technical people. This is the people, when you're coding HTML, always make sure that you're including those meta tags. If you're not using a CMS, a content management system like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, and you are directly developing your site, please make sure to include your meta tags. Now, even if you're using a CMS, but you are a little bit more tech savvy, then by all means go behind the scenes to edit your theme or your template and double check that the meta tags are appearing in your code. And you can even inspect this in your browser on Google. I see some more chats. Trinity, I don't know if anybody has asked questions that I need to pause for.
No, there is no question. It's just a comment.
Oh, okay.
On sharing the video.
Okay, awesome. See, all right, so don'ts. Now remember when I said that, search engine optimization is a process. It's not a one-time thing. So you also have to make sure that you're following the rules. Otherwise, the search engines can penalize you. This is the worst that can ever happen to you, your website, your business, or your blog, is being penalized by a search engine, because that means you get a blackout, like you get blacklisted, and people can only find you if they are direct traffic. So if they enter your URL in the search engine, and then it takes them directly to your website. But some don'ts is so the third-party web pages that you need to be careful of, which I've warned you about. Be careful who is asking to repost your content, because you get a lot of requests from people all over the world, from Russia, from China, from, you know, all sorts of like places, and they want to repost your content. But instead of being excited because people want to share your content, you need to investigate if your content is aligned, you're in the same industry. Otherwise, you could be penalized. And for them, this is the win. The more websites they get penalized, they get some sort of credit for that. So just be very, very careful. There's also something called invisible text. So when you're searching for tools that can optimize your search engine results, some third-party websites will be telling you just download this and by tomorrow you'll be #1. That is not true. That's a scam. All it will do is put invisible text, which will alert the algorithm, the crawlers and the bots that your website is a red flag, and then you get penalized and blacklisted. So please be very, very careful. This is illegitimate. And the last don't that I'm going to share today is keyword stuffing. So in a previous slide, I shared how you need to make sure that you have some keywords in your first sentence. But you know, fair use policy, just like internet service provider, when they ask you not to abuse your internet when you have unlimited, otherwise they'll throttle you. It's the same thing with search engine optimization. When you have the opportunity to include keywords in your content, do not stuff it. Do not, every sentence cannot be the keyword. Otherwise, it's just going to be redundant and not relevant anymore. And then the search engine will blacklist you. So by optimizing your website for search engines, you improve your ranking, like we saw. So over time, your page keeps moving from wherever you were. If it was 10 and 50, it starts progressing towards the first page when you follow this set of techniques. And the most important thing for business people, for entrepreneurs, for the bloggers, even for those that are thinking of building their personal brand. So if you are thinking of building your personal brand, this is also very critical for you, because this is the way that people will discover you. This is how you can get customers coming to you, is when they can find you through search engines. So if you want people to find you, hey, put a keyword, Imanga Kayama, because someone might be Googling Imanga Kayama. And this way that someone might want to contact me for what I do, where I'm found, or even just to exchange ideas. So yeah, bear in mind that this is cross-cutting and very diverse for those that are listening in. So good SEO is long-term and follows specific guidelines. It's a constant process. So when we get into the tools, like I promised, and also I'm being very cognizant of time, I have to speak about Hubspot, because obviously we're a solutions partner, the first ever in Zambia. So yes, one of my favorite tools is the Hubspot SEO tool. And this is a beautiful, beautiful tool. It provides you with guidance on the type of content you should produce. Something called, you can form a topic cluster. This is what's here in the middle, in the center of this diagram. So based on the type of website you have or service that you have, you can come in here and I'm going to use an example and say, okay, I see Ingutu is on this course. So I'm going to use like the sector that you work, which is jewelry. So you can put in like bespoke jewelry as your topic cluster. And then from bespoke jewelry, you create branches or subtopics of what bespoke jewelry is. You can say customized now, made by Zambians for Zambians, affordable, accessible, competitive pricing, and then you blog around that. But at the core of your content, you've got bespoke jewelry. So it reminds you, it keeps reminding you not to stray away from your core objective, which is to talk about bespoke jewelry. So for us as well as Manic, as a topic cluster, we would have something like digital marketing or online marketing, but it doesn't need to be generic. I'll show you a tool after this one where, towards the end actually, where you can assess your website to search what keywords you rank for, and then you need to focus on those keywords to capitalize on the traffic. If you pick a keyword where you are number 50, then your topic cluster will not work because the competition is too stiff. But if you pick keywords where you're already performing well, then you focus your energy on that. It is very likely and more efficient that your SEO efforts will pay off sooner than when you pick a keyword that you're competing against. If you have a budget to bid for competitor keywords with Google AdWords, definitely by all means go for this one because this one will put you on top. Another tool that I love, and I discovered this when I was a blogger, is Yoast Seo. And Yoast is a beautiful tool that you can download it as a plugin in WordPress. And it is so user-friendly that when you put your keyword and analyze your content, it actually operates like a traffic light system. When it's red, it means your content is bad. Just stop and go back and revisit. It even gives you recommendations of what you should improve. When it's amber, it means you are okay, but not in the best position for search engine optimization. When it's green, it means you're good to go. So Yoast it has a free plugin on WordPress and other websites as well. And there's a premium version that has more features and functionality. Google Search Console. So if you have a Gmail account or if you're using G Suite like us, then Google Search Console, which is found under Google Webmaster Tools, is a very, very powerful tool that if you connect your website to it, it shows you the performance. Now, all of these tools that I've mentioned so far, except Yoast and Hubspot, Google Search Console tells you everything that's wrong with your website. So where you could be improving and you know, the keywords that you're ranking for and the keywords that your competitor is ranking for. So you need an expert to help you with the strategy to be able to fix your optimization of your search engine results. Google Search Console is free. So even Yoast, like I said, Yoast has a free version. HubSpot, you need to subscribe to like Marketing Starter or Marketing Pro for these suggestions, but the CRM is free. Moving on. When I talked about analyzing your keywords, I love this tool. It's free, it's easy. All you need to do is go in here, moz.com, and type your URL on the website. It's right there on the front page, and then click Analyze Domain. It sweeps your website, and then it gives you the results to show you what you're ranking for. So for anybody listening in and wants to try this, you know, on the side, please go ahead and do it. I would love to hear what kind of results that your website ranked for. Kopaji, I'm picking on you now. I'm using my my privilege as a former schoolmate. If you can put your website in moz.com and then tell us what the results will be in the chat section. Last but not least is Website Grader, powered by Google Lighthouse. This tool, you guys, 100% free. All you have to do is put in your domain name in the website section, put your email address there, and get your score instantly. It shows you the performance on your website and what went wrong, what you can improve. Shows you the mobile compatibility. It shows you your search engine optimization results, and it also assesses your security levels. It's an all-in-one package, and I highly recommend this tool. It's found on websitegrader.com. It's a Hubspot tool, but it's 100% free. And it comes in various languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Chinese. So if you speak any of those languages, please feel free to use this tool and see what comes up for your website. I've reached the end of my presentation. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, very simple, but also straight to the point. I promise to share easy tools, introducing you. So please feel free to send your questions or ask. I am happy to address them. Yes, Mukopaje, it's a free, yeah, I guess maybe like what they say is, if it's free and you are at the other end of the table, then they need your information. You do need to register. And then I'm looking at Ronnie's contribution, 100%. Ronnie Mboma, you just don't need an SSL certificate. This is the basic introduction, Ronnie. You definitely need anti-malware, and there are more tools to secure your website and make sure that you are protecting it from unscrupulous individuals. There are bad people out there who are just on the lookout to hack your website. You know, this is what they do for fun. A comment as well, Mareta's pasted from Facebook. Rule of thumb for our business is to have 2 main keywords per page, if not focusing on one, and then have the keywords appear 2 to 3 times in an article page and obviously spaced out. Brilliant, Ronnie. What is your website? Maybe, do you mind sharing the URL so that we can quickly use Website Grader? Mukopaje, use Website Grader. It doesn't need you to register. If you put in just your email address, then you can get the results. Otherwise, I can perhaps stop sharing my screen and just demo. How are people feeling? What do you think? We have 10 minutes left, so maybe I'll stop sharing here. Any volunteer to give us a URL? Otherwise, I'll use Bongo Hive.
Nico, you don't have a URL? Okay, you can use Bongo
Mareta says you go
Hive.
for Bongo Hive. Mareta, very generous. Let's see. So.
And Tisha has also posted a URL.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll do.
And Miko also has both.
Really, you guys? I'm just joking. It's very quick. So let me just share my screen here. So I show you. So I'll go websitegrader.com, and okay, we'll start with Bongo Hive because I know the URL by heart. it keeps you entertained as you wait for your result. Blood is thicker than water, but your relatives suck sometimes. So yeah, these are the results for Bongo Hive. You can see here, it gives a summary on the left-hand side. The score, 64 out of 100, which is decent because it's over 50. Performance is 4 out of 30, SEO 25 out of 30, mobile compatibility 30 out of 30, and then security is 5 out of 10. Let's see why. It actually gives us the reason why, which is super amazing. So it tells you, page size, it's a respectable size, which is really good, 4.4 MB. Page requests, HTTP, too many. And usually the case is that you probably migrated from HTTP to HTTPS. And then somewhere in between, there's some traffic which is still going to HTTP, and then it has to redirect to HTTPS, and this slows down the site. Page speed is 21.8 seconds. So, ideally, what is best in class is considered 5.3 seconds. Browser caching is a woo-wee, world class, well done, Bongo Hive. Minimal page redirects, image size. So it just gives like a snapshot here. And what was the next one? Can somebody just like, okay, let me see. I'll go to the chat. Ooh.
On his t-shirts. Let me just send it.
Okay, perfect. Mukopaji has put 2 of his websites here.
I'm curious to see.
Don't be greedy, Mukopaji. Yeah? All right, I'll copy this. So I'll just paste that there. So this is a good starting point. Oh, look, we even got our results quicker. 61. Okay, so performance 11 out of 30, SEO 25 out of 30, mobile 20 out of 30, security 5 out of 10. Let's see. Tasha, the chick bar Zambia. Why is it 11 out of 30? Page size, vaster than empires and more slow. A lot of requests. Page speed is, it's slow as well. We need to bring it to 5.3. Browser caching is good. Image size is perfect. Let's look at SEO. Descriptive link text. So it's very generic, Tasha. So if you just go and check your descriptive text on your pages and make sure that it describes your company. Like don't make it generic. It has to be customized and tailored on each page. But if you copy and paste the same descriptive text, then yeah, then you get a lower score in SEO. Mobile, people don't know where to click, so you can fix that. Security, JavaScript libraries need to be updated, but you've got SSL. Well done, congratulations. So you see here, if you scroll further down to the bottom, that it describes exactly what you should do. There are recommendations. This is why I love this tool. I love it. Who's next? Mukopaje. Let's see. I think it was Zipos. Should Mukopaje have to pick one? Okay, I'll zipos.co.zm.
It will make it easy. We'll pick Zipos.
All right. And these like little messages here funny. I just love them. They keep me entertained as I'm waiting for the results. The post is 59. So you guys are trading on the 50 range, so be careful. So this site is okay. Performance 4 out of 30. Let's see what it was. Page size, brilliant. Page speed and page request, which is a common issue that I'm seeing. JavaScript, minified CSS, SEO, meta description, Mkopaje. So you guys need to work on your meta description and descriptive link. This is usually the challenge with technical people. They have all their plugins, they have all their indexing on point, but when it comes to the content, this is a pitfall. So Mkopaje, we need to talk. And security as well, just update your JavaScript libraries. Let's see, one more, and then we wrap up. The rest can, let me see, I can share this in the, let's see. Frederick Musonda, what are some of the credible websites creators available? Well, Frederick, you can send me a message after this webinar. I'm happy to have a discussion with you about that. He said POS device has better rating. Mkopaja is disputing the results. You can't. This is Google Lighthouse. Tasha, you did well. You're nerve-wracking. You were sweating. Pushing20s.com. Let's try that. And then there's, no, actually, Ronnie posted this. Okay, I'll do Ronnie's and then we'll go to Pushing20s.
Manga, you have to try postdevice.co.za. You want to try that, believe me.
I'll try, but I trust Google more. After all, they're the ones indexing my website or your website. All right, so 65. SEO, 30 out of 30. Ronnie was right. Remember when he said they make sure that they have 2 keywords per page? It's paying off. So this is, we can see here that when you put effort in, then it pays off, guys. So Ronnie, the only thing you have to work on is page requests and page speed, minified JavaScript and mini CSS. Look at that, beautiful. Meta description, descriptive link text sorted, SEO done and dusted. Mobile, people are not sure where to click, so just need to fix that, Ronnie. And then securities, 5 out of 10. So also JavaScript is a challenge. Zambian websites, what's going on? Guys, Venebongo Hive. George, explain yourself. Need a lesson on how to update JavaScript libraries.
Not taken. That's why we need this workshop.
I had to go buy the fan. I don't know, Tasha. Let's see, pushing20s.com. You know what? I'm going to actually end with our website as well. Otherwise, I'll be a hypocrite. I also have to test our website. I have nothing to hide. All right, so pushing20s.com, we're testing. Forget scissors, it's unsafe to run around with a brilliant idea in your head. So guys, implement your brilliant ideas. Pushing20s, 11 out of 30. First website I've seen that is slow with page size is massive. 19 MB. You need to reduce your images, videos if you've got any uploads. remember, use embedding versus direct upload if where possible, and make sure to keep your page size below 3 MB. Image size is also out of place. Ooh, minified JavaScript, sorted. SEO, meta description, check that you have 30 out of 30. And mobile as well, tap targets are an issue. Security, same thing, JavaScript. Okay, last but not least, the moment of truth for Manic. I have a disclaimer, we are not 100 out of 100. So just so you know, we are also still working on our website performance. And I haven't checked it in a while. So this is a real moment of truth for me. Are you funnier than I am? Send your message ideas to @grader on Twitter. You guys need to try this too. Like, it's so entertaining. Sending you good vibes over the internet. Oh, let's see. Ah, we are 81. The highest so far. Whoop, whoop. So our performance is what we need to work on. As you can see, SEO is 30 out of 30, mobile is 30 out of 30, and security is 10 out of 10. But to be honest with you, we had assessed our website at first, and it was terrible. Like we were at 53 before this current score. But we've been working on it continuously and focused on page size. Page requests used to be over 100 because we also migrated from HTTP to HTTPS. We still need to work on our page speed and image size, but everything else we deliberately went in to fix. And we didn't even like try to do it ourselves, because when we were doing it ourselves, our website sucked so much. So we, behind the scenes, I mean, creating the content, 100% were sorted. But when it comes to like the CSS and the JavaScript, yeah, no, it just wasn't working for us. So we needed some expert help, and that's what helped us to fix our website and to get to 81. So what should I do next? It's here. We only have 3 recommendations for our website. Page requests, we need to combine files, page speed, and image size. So there you have it, folks. Thank you very much for your time. I don't know if there are any questions or last comments before we leave. Anybody?
Mark, I'm not seeing any comments.
Okay, all right. In that case, please do feel free to get in touch with me. I am very happy to dedicate some time to discuss content, blogs for your website, how to improve it, you know. And I think since George is here and he's seen some of the need that we have identified through analyzing a couple of websites, I think there were a few common themes. So we'll work together to make sure that the next webinar, you know, touches on some of those issues. And then George, I think when you send the assessment, it's also nice to maybe hear from participants about what they would like to learn, so we can tailor that and make it very specific to the needs of the participants.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much for the session. And yeah, that was a good way to end it with your website, which had, which I think you're very fast and it's a show off. But yeah, thank you so much for.
Oh, George, no, you can't end the show like this. It's not a show. I have to practice what I preach, guys. So
Really,
at least
really.
bare minimum.
But you're the expert in this, so.
I just had
Definitely,
to show
yeah.
that I'm not a scam. I'm not here to just throw
Yeah.
some theories at you. We are really working hard to implement what we're
What you're
using
doing.
here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, well noted. So to everyone else who's participated, thank you so much for participating, and we hope that you got a lot of lessons from it. I can see a lot of comments right now saying, even asking for the next session. That assessment that you mentioned, the manga, would be very, very important at this point to strike iron while it's hot. So from Bongo Hive team, thank you so much, Manga. You've been part of this journey for a very long time, and you also did one session with us. And thank you again for committing your time and then doing this again. I believe we'll be calling upon you again, looking at from the assessment that we're going to get. And so if you want to get in touch with Manga, her details, did you leave your details as well?
Yeah, it's I think just email me and we can
Alright.
take it from there. Actually, when you email me, yeah, there's my signature has a booking link. You can book a meeting if you want, so we can do
Using
a Zoom
Hubspot.
one-on-one. Yes, using HubSpot.
Yeah, these are very, very important terms to use. All right. So my team, we're going to close it off, but you please continue to follow us and to continue to have conversation with us. We have a newsletter. You can find it on the website. Just enter your details, and you can also find this session as well, which is going to be uploaded on YouTube, and it's also live on Facebook. But those are pretty much the channels that you can get access, so you can get some news. So thank you so much, and we're going to close it off at this point. Trinity was with us. She started the session, but thank you so much as well, Trinity, for hosting the session. Otherwise, from Bongo Hive, it's goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye.